All right, so we start from the start. Learn you a Haskell. Gone functionally. Right, so introduction. About this tutorial. Welcome to Learn You a Haskell for Great Good. Love that title. Yeah. If you're reading this, chances are you want to learn Haskell. That I do want to, a little bit. Want to dip my toes in, at least. Well, you've come to the right place, but let's talk about this tutorial a bit first, alright? We gotta have a tutorial for the tutorial. I decided to write this because I wanted to solidify my own knowledge of Haskell and because I thought I could help people new to Haskell learn it from my perspective. There are quite a few tutorials on Haskell floating around on the internet. When I was starting out in Haskell, I didn't learn from just one resource. The way I learned it was by reading several different tutorials and articles because each explained something in a different way than the other did. By going through several resources, I was able to put together the pieces and it all just came falling into place. So this is an attempt at adding another useful resource for learning Haskell, so you have a bigger chance of finding one you like. From what I hear, this is like, by now, this is like the de facto way to learn Haskell. And if you start looking around for Haskell and people talk about this tutorial, usually. This tutorial is aimed at... Wait, could I do this? This tutorial is aimed at people who have experience in imperative programming languages. Right. So you gotta know a little bit of C, C++, Java, or Python. Like one of these normal programming languages. No, they're called imperative. I guess we will learn what imperative means. But haven't programmed in a functional language before. Languages like Haskell, ML, or OCaml. Haven't heard of these languages before. I have done quite a bit of Python and a tiny bit of C. Experienced is a strong word for me though, so... Although I bet even if you don't have any significant programming experience, a smart person such as yourself will be able to follow along and learn Haskell. Oh, that's very kind of you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have... Yeah, not significant programming experience. I like that. We're all smart people here, so we will learn a little bit of Haskell, I guess. The channel #Haskell on the Freenode network is a great place to ask questions if you're feeling stuck. People there are extremely nice, patient and understanding to newbies. Nice. I failed to learn Haskell approximately 2 times before finally grasping it, because it all just seemed too weird to me and I didn't get it. But then, once it just clicked, and after getting over that initial hurdle, it was pretty much smooth sailing. I guess what I'm trying to say is, Haskell is great, and if you're interested in programming, you should really learn it, even if it seems weird at first. Learning Haskell is much more like learning to program for the first time. It's fun! Nice. It forces you to think differently, which brings us to the next section. Actually, that is something I really learned, I liked about learning programming. The first time? Yeah, it forces you to think differently. Right. Thinking like an engineer. I'm not very good at it yet, but I think I've learned a little bit about thinking like an engineer. Right, so what is Haskell? Haskell is a purely functional programming language. In imperative languages, you get things done by giving the computer a sequence of tasks, and then it executes them. Yeah, that's what I've learned, giving tasks. While executing them, it can change states. For instance, you set variable a to 5, and then you do some stuff and set it to something else. Yeah. You have control flow structures for doing some actions several times. In purely functional programming, you don't tell the computer what to do as such, but rather you tell it what stuff is. All right. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah. You don't tell in... I would have thought about it, right? Imperative languages. I would have thought that I told the computer that A is 5. But they point out that that's not what you're doing. You're telling... you're setting the variable. That's not the same, is what he's claiming. Right. I guess we'll get to it. The factorial of a number is the product of all the numbers from 1 to that number. Fucking maths. Alright, so the factorial of 3 would be 1 times 2 times 3, right? Multiplication. Product is multiplication, right? The sum of... Wait, alright. The sum of a list of numbers is the first number plus the sum of all the other numbers, and so on. Yeah, exactly. Oh, is that how you write a factorial, Colgating on tap? 6 exclamation mark. It's equal to 720. Is it equal to 1 times 2 times 3 times and so on, right? Cass says, oh god, maths. Oh no, maths. Oh, but that is, right. That is the factorial. Okay, good. Cass says, I thought I left this behind. It's fine, we're just gonna touch on it. You never leave maths behind. It'll follow you forever. You express that in the form of functions. Yeah, that's what they're talking about, a functional language. I remember that. That the language is more similar to mathematical functions rather than the functions we program in Python, for example. Right, you also can't set a variable to something and then set it to something else later. If you say that A is 5, you can't say it's something else later because you just said it was 5. What are you, some kind of liar? Right? Are you a liar? Snowrunner says, I thought Factorio was a game about logistics. I mean, one way of playing the game, it is playing it like it is about logistics. But Factorio is a great game with a great many aspects to it, one of which is logistics. I thought it was about building a factory because of the name, right? Factorio, building the utopian factory, kinda. What are you, some kind of liar? No, well... Kinda. Everybody's a little bit of a liar, I suppose. But I usually try not to. So, in functional languages, a function has no side effects. The only thing... this is gonna be a big thing. I remember hearing about this before, that the no side effects is a big thing within the functional programming languages. They don't want no side effects. They just want... If A is 5, then A is 5. Nothing else. Nice. I like that. I don't know what Monkey says. An English major says, I want $10! Exclamation mark. While a math major says, I want 10 exclamation mark dollars. Nice. Clever indeed. Nodrunner says, I have this bag that has 10 apples in it. I can't take out an apple or else I'm a liar. Okay. Yeah, but that's not what they said. No. They said that A is 5. It's not that A contains 5. Right? That's the imperative way of looking at things. That A is a bag that has 5 in it. But in a functional language, A is 5. So there is no containing apples. You can't take out the apples because the 10 apples... No, right, the metaphor doesn't work, Snowrunner. Yeah. A is 5, not A contains 5. That's the difference, right? I think so. That's my understanding so far. The only thing a function can do is calculate something and return it as a result. Okay. At first, this seems kind of limiting, but it actually has some very nice consequences. Ooh, nice consequences. Nice. CoolGitInnoTap says it's the same thing with lists and sets containing stuff. Yeah, but the list is the list. The list is not a thing that contains a couple of numbers, right? The list is those couple of numbers, and if you change them, it's not the same list anymore. It's a different type of attitude to thinking about things, right? The imperative way of thinking of things and the functional way of thinking of things. Yeah. Snowrunner says, I kind of write in a functional way already. I don't like manipulating variables. I like to make new variables for each new number. Yeah. That would be a functional way of writing things, from my understanding, yes. CoolGitInnoTap says, you can't say A is an empty set and then say it contains a string apple. Exactly, because that's an empty thing. Wait, what was that? An empty set and a string apple. Those are two very different things. Make up your mind. Alright, the nice consequences of thinking in a functional way. Right, whoops. If a function is called twice with the same parameters, it's guaranteed to return the same result. Okay. That's called referential transparency, and not only does it allow the compiler to reason about the program's behavior, but it also allows you to easily deduce and even prove that a function is correct, and then build more complex functions by gluing simple functions together. This kind of goes a little bit over my head. Right. Function called twice. I mean, if I add 2 apples and 3 apples together, I will have 5 apples. Oh, right, but if we call A, but then we change A in the middle, that kind of makes things fussy. Yeah, we fussy things around within the functions in imperative languages. I'm thinking that we know how to do, like, it might be a little bit more complicated doing things in a functional programming language. Maybe. Depending on what type of personality you have, I guess. But the benefit is that you won't screw stuff up. It's easier to screw things up. Cassis, I do this thing where I name variables after my girlfriend. If I can't think of a good variable name. Nice. Oh man. Hope that it's an important variable. CoolGitInnoTap says, in imperative languages, there are side effects you can't be sure... you can't be sure if a function returns the same output with the same input. I don't remember ever being in that situation. Like if I call a thing with the same... If I feed the same input, I usually get the same output from a function from an imperative language. It would be weird. Oh, right, but... No. If I feed it A... If I call a function with A as a variable... then I change the A around, and then I call the function again, then I won't get the same result. I get it now, yeah. Referential transparency, right? When you refer to A, you always refer to A. You don't refer to, well, at this point in time, we refer to A as 5, and at this point of time, we refer to A as 10. No, that's a big no-no. That's the side effects, I guess. Wolfmugger says, be right back. All right, see you later. Yeah, some other function could have changed the variable or list or something. Indeed. Yeah. And that would be screwing ourselves, is kind of the idea behind the criticism against imperative languages, is that you're kind of screwing yourself. Or you could screw yourself. Alright, and that's the functional thing, by doing it as functions. And we also have that the second feature of Haskell is that it is lazy, which sounds amazing to me because I'm lazy, maybe. That means that unless specifically told otherwise, Haskell won't execute functions and calculate things until it's really forced to show you a result. That goes well with referential transparency, and it allows you to think of programs as a series of transformations on data. Yeah. It also allows cool things such as infinite data structures. Say you have an immutable list of numbers, XS, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a function double me, which multiplies every element by 2 and then returns a new list. Right? If we want to multiply our list by 8, in an imperative language, and did double me, XS, it would probably pass through the list once and make a copy and then return it. Yeah. Then it would pass through the list another 2 times and return the result. In a lazy language, calling double me on a list without forcing it to show you the result ends up in the program sort of telling you, yeah, I'll do it later. But once you want to see the results, the first double me tells the second one that it wants the results now, and the second one says to the third one, and the third one reluctantly gives back 1 doubled, which is 2. Yeah. The second one receives that and gives back.
I'm gonna miss you when you go.
The second one receives that and gives back 4 to the first one. First one sees that and tells you that the first element is 8. Yeah. So it only does one pass through the list, and only when you really need it. That way, when you want something from a lazy language, you can just take some initial data and efficiently transform and mend it so it resembles what you want at the end. Yeah, right. If I understand the benefits, the pros and cons here, right, with the lazy and non-lazy language, is that if you don't need everything from a list, then it's better to just get the things that you actually need from a lazy language. But I would assume, and that's an assumption from my part, if you need every single item on a list and you need them all doubled, then iterating through all of them would probably be more efficient, but that's just a wild guess on my side. Snowrunner says that KK Slider is a fictional musician from Animal Crossing, by the way. Oh, I did not know that. Animal Crossing, eh? I haven't played that game. I don't have a Nintendo Switch. I missed out on that. Oh, you can play it in an emulator, says Snowrunner. Oh, it's a good point. Yeah, there is an emulator. Oh, right. Now that you mention that, maybe I should look into playing emulators. But I've got so many other games on the list, so I'm not in any rush to play an emulator. Don't know if it's your kind of game though. At least I don't recall if you ever played anything like it. I mean, it's kind of a grinding game, right? You do fishing, you do farming and stuff like that. I haven't played a game like that in a long time, I don't think, but I do enjoy it. Part of me goes to Stardew Valley, but it's not exactly like Stardew Valley, but just the growing aspects. Growing stuff and selling it, maybe it is like... Actually, I haven't looked into it at all. The game you can play a little bit of every day. Right, I did play a lot of those games, the real-time strategy ones. I did play a lot of those on the phone for a long time, but holy shit, that's just pumping dopamine. I had to quit that for a while. Yes, Stardew Valley is where it's at. You can mod it up the eyeballs. You can indeed. Yeah, I've played a lot of games where it's playing a game a little bit every day. Then I didn't play those games a little bit every day. I played those games a lot every day, and then yeah, it wasn't good for an addictive personality, I guess. Casa says you can add all sorts of cool stuff too to Stardew Valley. And you can easily make your own mods. I'm making an NPC for it. Nice. Is it that helicopter pilot or whatever that you're making as an NPC? Yeah, thought so. Snowrunner says I made my own Stardew Valley mod pack. I think it had 150 mods. Isn't that more than Factorio? Your Factorio mod pack? Maybe I should replay Stardew Valley. I haven't played that in a long time. Just to play your mod pack of that as well, Snowrunner. Right. Haskell is statically typed. When you compile your program, the compiler knows which piece of code is a number and which is a string, and so on. Sure. That means that a lot of possible errors are caught at compile time. Yeah. If you try to add together a number and a string, the compiler will whine at you. Indeed. Haskell uses a very good type system that has type inference. That means you don't have to explicitly label every piece of code with a type because the type system can intelligently figure out a lot about it. Alright, so that's the compiler, right? The compiler knows that if you say that A is equal to 5 plus 4, yeah, the compiler knows it's a number. You don't have to tell it. Yeah. It can figure that out by itself. Type inference also allows you your code to be more general. If a function you make takes two parameters and add them together, and you don't explicitly state their type, the function will work on any two parameters that act like numbers. Indeed. Snowrunner says, I never released the mod pack. It was just for me. It's an artifact of time. Oh, maybe one day I'll make another one, but oddly, I don't like Stardew that much. I mean, I thought Stardew was fine, but I like all the social aspects and that it's kind of timed, right? There are a few things with Stardew Valley that just... I think it's a good game. I did enjoy it, but some aspects just lowers my enjoyment of it. Right. One of the reasons I play video games is not to socialize. And then we have this game here where I'm supposed to socialize with a lot of people. I escape reality to not have to do that. Cass not pre-quote, but I'm making one called Sophie, and she hangs out near the Adventures Guild. Sophie, she gonna come with you with a choice? Damn it, I haven't even read the book. I think there's a movie of it as well. I have no idea. I just know the title, Sophie's Choice. I've heard it multiple times. Autonosis. I think it's a good game. It's just not my kind of game. Yeah. Keep trying to get back into it, and I feel... wait. Keep trying to get back into it, and I feel like it's growing on me a little. Like a tumor. Was that pun intentional, by the way? Stardew Valley growing on you? I thought it was kind of funny anyway. It's kind of weird here, right? They mention statically typed, but then they start talking about type inference. Oh, I was thinking typing like this, but that's not it. Right? It is static. When a number is a number, right? Probably fine. Haskell is elegant and concise because it uses a lot of high-level concepts. Haskell programs are usually shorter than their imperative equivalents, and shorter programs are easier to maintain than longer ones and have less bugs. That is a big benefit, right? Yeah. The less number of lines you have, the less... Just statistically, there has to be less bugs. I think, yeah. Snowrunner says, yeah, I feel like my relationship with the game is improving over time. Sometimes that happens for some games. Start out disliking them. It was like me, for me, it was like that with Path of Exile, yeah. I tried Path of Exile a lot of times and it just didn't click with me. Like this dude was Haskell, right? He tried to learn it a couple of times, but it just didn't get to it. But it grew on him and then it clicked. Path of Exile was like that for me. That I wanted to like it, right? Because you want to like it, otherwise there is no way to improve the relationship with the game, right? Cass says, Stardew Valley is great because you can socialize with the NPCs and some of them are romanceable. Yeah, that's something I did not enjoy with Stardew Valley, Cass. That's just personal preference and that's fine. Snowrunner says, I don't know why, but for some reason the Haskell packages in Nix packages are constantly breaking. I was doing a little bit of cheating and looking around on Haskell because we are gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to install Haskell, and I noticed that there is, when you come to the installation part, there is no recommended install for Arch Linux, and I'm like, why is this? So I looked into it. And that somehow had something to do with the static nature, right? It's not only statically typed, it's statically linked, and Arch seems to do everything dynamically, and that creates a problem for the maintainer. So I remember seeing in the Arch wiki that all like Haskell stuff, when you do Haskell development, they will always break, right? All the time you have to update everything. Re-update. It was confusing, I don't know. It was a little bit over my head, but... Welcome back, Melon the Destroyer. How's it going? Snowrunner asked the release manager for NixOS why this is, and I don't totally remember his answer, but he said there's maintainers working hard to keep them working. yeah, that's what happened with... it was something similar to that in the Arch Linux thing, that the way it works in the backend meant that it meant a lot of work to keep the Haskell programmers working. Yeah. And the maintainers decided to pretty much just not do that. So the recommendation kinda looked, especially for a noob, that you just install Haskell separately, right? You don't integrate it with the operating system, but that's my plan anyway, just going for a general Haskell installation. Snowrunner says, isn't that kind of a big problem? I mean, it's a problem for developing, but it shouldn't be a problem for binaries, right? I don't know how many actual Haskell binaries there are, but they shouldn't be breaking. Yeah, this was specifically for installing Haskell and doing stuff within the Haskell framework. Just like, right, Haskell has its own installer, like equivalents to pip in Python, for example. And installing pip packages. That's what I read about. Those things break. Not the actual binary, like Xmonad wouldn't break, I don't think. Why would you learn a language for which you write software that can't be packaged? Oh, no, sorry, it's my mistake, right? You can package it, right? When you're done with it, you can package a binary, and the binary should work just fine. It's just the library linking. It's the end product should be fine. I don't know. Or has trouble maintaining to the point it can't be packaged. I mean, I'll take your word for it. That is not what happened in Arch. That is not what they claimed happened with Arch. Right? What they were talking about, right, in Arch, I'll show you. We go to the wiki and we go to Haskell. Right, we have here. You probably understand this better than me, right? GHC is the compiler, right? Since this version, the Arch GHC package and all Haskell packages, right? There are specific Haskell packages in the community provide only dynamically linked libraries. Therefore, to link successfully, one must configure GHC to like these things for dynamic linking, as the default is to use static linking, right? Haskell tries to be a static language, and Arch is trying to do stuff dynamically. Right. Using dynamic linking typically results in faster builds and smaller disk RAM usage by sharing, right? And will free you from troubleshooting cross-GHC mixing errors. Right. All the tools for Haskell, right? All these are Haskell tools. Right. Where was it? But it has, yeah, doing dynamic linking, but it has one disadvantage. All tools you install from source will break on every update of GHC and these libraries. Yeah. But there is, right, when you scroll down on the Arch Linux, there is this, where was it? Like a different installation type, yeah, where you can install it differently and make it work better, I guess. Oh, wow. Hello, Habus Blood. Subscription at tier 1. Nice to meet you. And thanks, I guess. It's the first time I've seen your name. Hope you're enjoying things, I guess, yeah. So, does that make sense, Snowrunner? That it's not, right? You can rate, like, the only package I know that is written in Haskell is xmonad, right? And xmonad doesn't have a problem. It's just when you have, like, specific Haskell projects that are broken, like the equivalence to... Wait, what's this? Like, it would be that all of these packages that you find in here, you would have a problem with these packages that you download from here within your operating system. Yeah, when you try to install stuff with pip and they would break over and over again. That would be the equivalency. But I would still concede that, yeah, that's kind of a big problem. I assume since Haskell is not very mainstream, the people haven't really figured out any good solutions for it. I don't know, though. Wait. And I remember hearing an interview about Haskell as well, that someone learned Haskell, but then they went back to their normal languages and it was just about learning functional attitudes, right? You can use the things you learn in Haskell, like you said before, right? You tend to do stuff and have every variable be their own thing, not changing the variables around. Yeah. The functional way, right? So for me, learning Haskell, it's about learning the functional way. I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually do anything with Haskell. It's just learning functional programming, I guess, yeah. Right, Haskell was made by some really smart guys with PhDs. Work on Haskell began in 1987. So Haskell is as old as me, yeah. Haskell is as old as me. When a committee of researchers got together to design a kick-ass language. Ooh, designed by a committee. Isn't that usually a... If you want to talk smack about something, you say that looks like it was designed by a committee. I feel like I've heard that before. Yeah. In 2003, the Haskell report was published, which defines a stable version of the language. Nice. Snowrunner says, for me, everything needs to have practical use. If I'm going to learn a functional language, it's because I'm going to use them every day. Like I do with Nick's expression. I see what you're doing. Like, that works for you. And that really helps me out as well. There is no programming language that I will ever use every day. Like, ever. That won't happen. That hasn't happened. And that will not happen. I don't spend a lot of time with programming languages. Ever. But when I do, I like learning about them. For me, it's more about the book more than the language, I suppose. Learn you a Haskell, more about the book than the actual Haskell. But who knows, right? Maybe I'll fall in love in Haskell and just do everything in Haskell from now on out. I doubt it, but, you know. Right. What you need to dive in to Haskell, yeah. A text editor. I do have that, yeah. And a Haskell compiler. I don't have that. You probably already have your favorite text editor installed, so we won't waste time on that. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will be using GHC, the most widely used Haskell compiler. That's the one we're gonna get, yeah. Best way to get started is download the Haskell Platform. We're not gonna do that. Which is basically Haskell with batteries included. So, I've been over here before. Problem is when you go down here, the Haskell Platform. Where can we get the Haskell Platform? Ubuntu. No, that's not me. Debian. No. Red Hat. Fedora. Mint. Gentoo. From source. No, we take a generic Linux. We take this one. GHC up. I'm actually surprised that Nix is not here. Snowrunner says, I don't fully understand the intricacies of maintaining a Haskell package, but I'm somewhat worried about it, and might never learn Haskell if I investigate it further and don't like what I see. Right? I can imagine it's kind of weird, since Nix is functional, right? One would think that in NixOS, having Haskell, like, it seems like it would be a match made in heaven, kinda, right? There's lots of other functional programming languages to learn, indeed. But I would have guessed that Nix and Haskell would work very well hand in hand, but Nix is not here either. Yeah, you'd think, right? You'd think. But right. That's the thing though, right? When you maintain stuff specifically for Haskell, that's its own what do you call it? Like a package manager? Yeah, this is like a get package managers for Haskell specifically. It's its own infrastructure, but that might be a problem for NixOS, because NixOS wants everything in. That would mean that you would have to integrate all the Haskell stuff into all the Nix stuff, and that is why stuff breaks, maybe? Oh yeah, I love this song. It's Zelda, yeah, Crying Out of Time. Thought so. Alright, let's install this thing. No, not... Yeah, like this. Alright, this script will download and install the following binaries. Alright. Some Haskell toolchain installer. A Glasgow Haskell compiler. Oh, Banana Waffle Monkey made Cirrus his bitch. Nice. Good job. Good job indeed. That fucker. Yeah, he wrecked me. I've met Cirrus once, and he wrecked me. It was rough. Yeah. Snowrunner says, look for a video called the Zelda and Chill. It's basically more of this. Nice. Zelda and Chill. I'm kind of happy with this as it is. I remember getting a symphony version of the Ocarina of Time soundtrack. Really like that, yeah. Oof. Banana Waffle Monkey also got 3 Exalted Jewels out of Cirrus. That's a pretty good drop, yeah. Right, Cabal is a build tool for managing Haskell software, right? This is it. It's its own infrastructure that might not work the best with others. But you have Stack, which is a cross-platform program for developing Haskell projects. And HLS, a language server for developers to integrate with their editor. This is from Final Fantasy VII. I like this song as well. Right, it installs and can be removed at any time. In my home folder, nice. So let's install it. Right. The script can be rerun at any given time, sure. Detected bash shell on your system, yeah. Do you want it to automatically add a required path variable to bash RC? Sure. We want to append. Wait, prepend. No, append. Yeah, let's append that. Ah. Do you want to install the Haskell language server? What is that? Language server that provides IDE-like functionality and can integrate with different editors such as Vim, Emacs, VS Code. Oh, yes. You want to install Stack? Stack is a Haskell build tool similar to Cabal that is used by some projects. Sure, let's install everything. Snowrunner says, I like it when really upbeat songs have dirty trap remixes. Alright, I like this. Alright, note you need the following packages. Perl, G++, GCC, GMP, make, ncurses, realpath, executils. I don't know. I mean... Wait, did they... Let's proceed and see what happens. Let's assume we have all of those. We've never seen the real path or the XZ utils before. It seems to be working. Seems to be working fine, yeah. Fedora Linux. Oh, they're using a package from... Right, well, that is working. Right. That is what we needed, right? We downloaded the Haskell platform, which is basically Haskell with batteries included. Yeah, we installed a couple of different things. What's this? Oh, something about the problem with NixOS. Man, I've got way too many things opened here. What's happening? Nothing's happening. Right, while we're waiting, I don't need this open anymore. Don't need this. I want to close the path of exile stuff. Yeah, I don't need everything. Right, here we go. Right, Haskell packages, containers failed to build. Yeah, Haskell packages. Alright, it shows fails because that fails and it fails. Yeah, dependency constraint not met specifically, primitive or primitive extras, which is still done on older version. The general question, I'm quite confused how Haskell packages get updated. Since all these packages are auto-generated, how does one go about wanting to fix this problem, since it seems like a matter of also updating primitives and primitives extras? I'm usually working with the Python packages attribute set and updating... Oh, no, we're done there. Just a matter of submitting a PR to Nix packages, updating the expression, but Haskell packages are incredibly opaque to me. Even the CI system is a bit strange. Why Haskell packages in their own job set? And what's all the differences between Haskell updates and trunk jobs? I have no idea what this is. Wait, how do we know whether this fixes the problem? Right. Let me try to answer some of your questions. I believe your diagnosis here is correct. Package. Yeah, I remember that. All right. Wow, it's a lot of stuff. Let me answer all of your other questions as well. Right, I don't want to read a completely other thing about this. Right, I believe hackage to Nix is run automatically at regular intervals once a day. Pushes updates to the Haskell updates branches. Here's an example of it running. Haskell basically looks at two separate sets of information to decide which package to use. You can probably see the problem will be here. The primitive package in the stackage LTSS version. Alright. It's not. There are a couple of ways to get it to build. It's, I mean, I don't know. This is still way over my head. Like, I haven't gone that far. Just installed Haskell. I don't know anything about it yet. Alright. All done. To start, a simple REPL run GHCI. To start a new Haskell project in the current directory, run cabal init interactive. Oh wow. You don't just start typing a file, you actually run an init thing to get it up and running. To install other GHC versions tool. No, let's not do that. If you're new to Haskell, check out first steps. Should we do that, or should we just keep reading? Yeah, the install is finished. You don't have to read it. I'll read into it more and explain it to you later. Oh, that's very kind, Snowrunner. Very kind indeed. Right. Since I'm not the experimental person, I guess we...
Just give me a fucking chance to breathe. I got a few questions of my own.
You ain't dying, he is.
We just move this out of the way for now. Yeah. And keep reading. What time is it? Yeah, plenty of time left. Right. GHC can take Haskell script. They usually have a .hs extension and compile it, but it also has an interactive mode. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, GHCI. Right, that is what it said. Yeah, GHCI. That's the interactive mode. That allows you to interactively interact with scripts. Alright. It has an interactive mode which allows you to interactively interact with scripts. Thank you. Interactively. Yeah, exactly. Nice. You can call functions from scripts that you load and the results are displayed immediately. For learning, it's a lot easier and faster than compiling every time you make a change and then running the program from the prompt. Yes, indeed. The interactive mode is invoked by typing, GHCI at your prompt. If you have defined some functions in a file called, say, myfunctions.hs, you load up those functions by typing load myfunctions. Then you can play with them provided myfunction.hs is in the same folder from which GHCI was invoked. If you change the .hs script, just run load myfunctions again or do R, which is equivalent because it reloads the current script. The usual workflow for me when playing around in stuff is defining some functions in an HS file, loading it up and messing around with them, and then changing the HS file and loading it up again, and so on. That's what we will be doing here. Yeah, I like this. I like this way of working. Cass says this is confusing. All right. Let me show you how this works. I think I kind of get it, right? If we move this back here. What we do is that we create a folder. We make a directory that we will call Learn Me a Haskell Real Good. And then we jump into that folder. Learn Me a Haskell Real Good. And then in here, we can make a script. We're not going to do that now, though. But what we can do is that we can press GHCI, which is the interactive mode. Wait. It said that it was going to add it to the path, but it didn't. Oh, right. The bash RC has been modified, so we have to source. Sorry, that was my bad. Now it should work. Yeah, exactly. I forgot to restart the shell. Yep. And in here we have a Haskell interactive mode. So in here we can type Haskell code. And I don't know any functions, so I can't. What if we just try something out? 5 plus 4, right? We get 9. That's what we get from Haskell. So we can do a lot of, we can say that A equals to 5 plus 4. We used that as an example before. And then we can just print A and we get 9. And then we will get an error because we will say that A is 6. Because what we have learned is that Haskell will not allow this because we've already decided that A is 9. Wait. I guess it works a little bit differently. Because I was not about... Yeah, GHCI lets you lie. Right? I was just a liar. But that's not the workflow, right? The workflow is that we instead... We go in... nope. Just like this. Here we go. We move into my stuff and learn me a Haskell, and then we create a file called testfunctions.hs. Oh, sorry. Vim testfunctions.hs. Actually, that was a long... You know what? No. Let's just call it test. I like test. Test is short and straightforward. And then we type A is equal to 5 plus 6. And then we type A is equal to 42. Right, and then we write, and then we... What was it? Load test, right? Boom. Error. Multiple declarations of A declared at, and then we get the first declaration, which is the first line, and then we get the second line. I don't know what the second one means. Oh, right. Line column. Yeah, it's interactively interactive, right? Failed. No modules loaded. Boom. Right. So since I broke the rules, I'm not allowed to do this in Haskell. We get an error. And this is the workflow, right? That you work around in here and then you just try to reload, but we get the same error, right? So we fix the error. We do that simply enough by just removing the first one, and then we try to reload. Boom. And then we press A, we get 11. And that's kind of the workflow. You write in your file, and then you have an interactive mode where you can play around with everything you've loaded. Which I kind of like that workflow. We move those out of the way because I'm guessing we're gonna be starting out doing some reading. Yeah. Ready, set, go. Alright, let's get started. If you're the sort of horrible person who doesn't read instructions to things and you skipped it, well, we didn't skip it, so we're not a horrible person. You might want to read the last section in the introduction anyway, because it explains what you need to follow this tutorial and how we're going to load functions. The first thing we're going to do is run GHC's interactive mode and call some functions to get a very, very basic feel for Haskell. Open your terminal. Alright, we are gonna be be doing this. All right, so let's bring him back. Oops. Here we go. Maybe we can probably do something like this. We don't need a lot of space for this. I don't think, not at the start. Cass says I'm a horrible person. You're not a horrible person. He's just messing, right? He's just messing. He's just insisting on getting this up and running, which we have, right? We have it up and running here. Actually, is the size of this? Can you see what it says? Maybe I should stop using Xterm. Start using a more pro terminal that have more than just 2 different font sizes. All right. The first thing we're going to do is, yeah, we did it. You'll be greeted by something like this. Yes, we did get greeted by this. Right, version, and then an address. Oh, we can type question mark for help. Loading the package base, linking, and it's done. Prelude. Now it says main for us though. Congratulations, you are in the Glasgow Haskell compiler interactive mode. The prompt here is prelude because it can get longer when you load stuff into the session. We're going to use GHCI, okay? If you want to have the same prompt, just set the prompt to GHCI. Wait, does it matter? Let's not touch the prompt. It's fine as it is. It's because I loaded the script, right? So we're in main, an asterisk. I guess we will learn why it does this later on. Right, and then they show just some maths. We've already done some maths. Right? We've already done this. You treat it like a calculator. And that's fine. Right. This is pretty self-explanatory. It is indeed. We can also use several operators on one line and all their usual precedence rules are obeyed. You can use parentheses to make the precedence explicit or change it. Yeah, like regular maths. We know how to do that. Learned this in high school? How old are you when you learn parentheses and order of operations? Gotta be like 14? Somewhere between 10 and 15. Yeah. 13, maybe? Another great song from this song. Elementary school. Middle school. Wow. And it's the wording is different, yeah, because elementary school in Swedish, we call that lower, middle, and high school. In high school, you stop when you're 15. Yeah, and then you go on to secondary. No, I don't know what to call it. Gymnasium. It's not the same as the German one. Everybody has their own names, eh? Pretty cool, huh? Sure. Yeah, I know it's not, but bear with me. I mean, it's kind of cool. Computers are cool. A little pitfall to watch out for here is negating numbers. If we want to have negative numbers, it's always best to surround it with parentheses. Doing 5 multiplied with -3 will make GHCI yell at you, but doing it with parentheses works just fine. Alright, that makes sense to me. Just put... I had a calculator. I remember my calculator in elementary school. No, upper secondary school, yeah. When you did negative numbers, you had to do it with parentheses as well, so that's how I learned to do it. But Anna Wolfmunk says, I was 12, so middle school for me. Alright, something like that. I don't remember, I just remember that it was what school I was in, so between 10 and 15. Nailed it, yeah. Colgate InnoTab says they taught it when I was like 9 in school, but I already knew that stuff. Oh, nice. The mathematician. Yeah, indeed. Right, Boolean algebra is also pretty straightforward, as you probably know. And that means Boolean. And wait, this means Boolean or. Wait, not negates. Oh, I didn't know this. I mean, I kind of did, but at the same time, I didn't. Ah. I didn't know these as in Booleans. The logical operators. Or Boolean algebra, so to speak. I've never looked into that. I just used true and false, like straight out, straight there. Cassis. I was learning, was in learning support when I was in year 3 and 4, and it really shows. Laughing my fucking ass off. 3 and 4? How old are you then? It's like not old at all. Like 9? I could probably have used some learning support when I was that age. Right. These things can make my head spin, since I haven't grinded? Is that how you say it? Grinded them out? Ground them out? No, that doesn't work. Alright, testing for equality. Yep. Oh, right. Oh, this is different. In Python, they do an exclamation point equals. Here they make a... I always forget. This is a backslash, right? Or is it a forward? No, that's a forward slash. Make a slash equals is testing for non-equality. Alright. What about doing 5 plus llama? Or 5 equals true? Well, if we try the first snippet, we get a big, scary error message. It is ground? Oh, man. Somehow that's felt weird. Felt off. Right. No instance for... Wait. Did we do it? No, we get the error. Let's double check so he's not lying to us. I mean, so far I trust the dude, but... What about now? Right, actually, let's... Oh, right. I think we do... No, not like that. We need a little bit extra space, it seems. Alright, let's try again. There we go. Oh, shit. Does that mean... Am I really fucked, or can we reload this thing? No, damn it. We also don't get variable not in scope. We don't get the same error message. Ground is the correct past tense form. Grinded is an improper conjugation unless the reference is to dancing. Wait, is there a grinded as in dancing? Oh, I used a... I didn't even notice that. I didn't type the same thing. Oh. Yeah. We're gonna do plus, right? Yeah. Now we get the same. Right. Not exactly the same. No instance. Right. Oh no, it's the same. It just... No instance for this arising from the use of plus. Yep. In the expression 5 plus llama in an equation for it. Wait. It equals 5. Wait. What does it come from? Oh, right. Yeah. It's where you're humping people on the dance floor. They call it grinding. And then... Wait. You didn't grind. You were grinding. Wait. That's weird. You grinded people on the dance floor? Alright. Okay. No instance. We don't know what instance mean. Add an instance. Declaration for a number out of a character. In the expression 5 plus llama, right? So we... Right. Let's read the explanation, because I don't really get the error message. Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous. No. The thing that was a little bit sad, I guess, is this is an Xterm problem, right? If I go like over here. Oh. That's the space, right? If we do it again... Oh. No, it does work. It does work fine. Goes to a new line. It's a bit tight and annoying to look at, so we'll look at this side instead. Alright. Yikes. What GHCI is telling us here is that llama is not a number. So it doesn't know how to add it to 5. Right. No instance. Even if it wasn't llama but 4 or 4, Haskell still wouldn't consider it to be a number. Thus expects its left and right sides to be numbers. If we try to do true equals true equals 5, GHCI would tell us that the type doesn't match. Yeah, Boolean and a number. Yeah. Whereas plus works only on things that are considered numbers. Yeah. The check for equality works on any two things that can be compared. Yeah. Any types, then, I guess. But the catch is that they both have to be the same type of thing. Oh, so we won't get false if we do... oh, right. We won't get true if we do... yeah, right. It's still the same. However, if we do... hello, we will get true. Yeah. So it only checks equality if it's of the same type. Right. Strict rules. Right, yeah, you can't compare apples and oranges. We'll take a closer look at types a bit later. Note that you can do... oh, integers and floats. Because 5 is sneaky and it can act like an integer or a floating point number. 4.0 can't act like an integer, so 5 is the one that has to adapt. Yeah, right. It's kind to us that we don't have to be specific with float and integers. Because it just works. Well, we probably can break it somehow. Ooh. What if we do a divided by 2? Yeah, that doesn't work. Because a is not a float. We have already decided that a is an integer. Therefore, we cannot do... but we could do a multiplied by 2, yeah. So we can screw ourselves by definitely deciding that something is an integer. And if it is an integer, we can't do floating point stuff with it. Right. And you may not have known it, but we've been using functions for now all along. For instance, multiplication is a function that takes two numbers and multiplies them. As you've seen, we call it by sandwiching it. Alright, we call it by sandwiching it between them. This is what we call an infix function. Most functions that aren't used with numbers are prefix functions. Let's take a look at them. Functions are usually prefix. Oh, so it doesn't have to be, right? So from now on, we won't explicitly state that a function is of the prefix form, we'll just assume it. In most imperative languages, functions are called by writing the function name and then writing its parameters in parentheses, usually separated by commas. That is usually how we call a function, yeah. In Haskell, functions are called by writing the function name, space, and then the parameters separated by spaces. So no parentheses, right? For a start, we'll try calling one of the most boring functions in Haskell. The suck one. Is it really that boring? Suck. What about suck? Yeah, right. It just adds a number. Increases by 1. Oh, it's like plus plus, isn't it? If you want to make a counting loop or something like that. Suck, right? Yeah. Cass says, floating point binary is a pain and it literally beat me up when I was trying to learn it. Wait. Floating point binary? That sounds awful. Oh, successor. Oh, right, successor. Alright, so what about suck 4.2? 5.2, okay. Right, the suck function takes anything that has a defined successor, a defined successor, and returns that successor. No, successor. Yeah, it has to be successor. As you can see, we just separate the function name from the parameter with a space. We do. Calling a function with several parameters is also simple. The function min and max takes two things that can be put in order, like numbers. Oh, so can it take... oh, shit. Can it take stuff and do it alphabetically? Like alpha, beta? Nope. Oh, shit. Those were not strings. It could take them. And just to double check that it indeed take alpha. It does. There we go. Cass is, yeah, floating point binary and stuff showing a number like minus 43.25 in binary. That sounds awful, yeah. Colgatino tab says you can type :t min. Wait, what is this? I don't remember. What does t mean? T. Right. The function. This is like it shows what the function is, right? It orders something that can be ordered, A, and then this still is, right? We'll get to this. Yeah, Let's not get ahead of ourselves. To get what they get. Alright, let's try n. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I still don't quite understand these things. But we'll get to it when we get to it. Alright. But we can do min and max, and that's fairly easy. If it can be ordered, we can take the, well, smallest one and the biggest one, I suppose. Right. Function application, calling a function by putting a space after it and then typing out the parameters, has the highest precedence of them all. What that means for us is that these two statements are equivalent. Wait. Suck 9 plus the max. Alright. This is 10 plus 5? No. Oh! Right. This is a new function call. So it's 5 plus 1. Right. So it's... Yeah, 10 plus 6. Because this is a function call. And we have to do a parentheses if we want to change the order of operations. And these are equivalent, but we could change it around and plus take... Well, it would be dumb to take 4 plus 1 and take the max out of 5 and 5, because that would be 5, right? Alright. So parentheses, we don't use that when we call stuff, because parentheses are used for the sake of order of operation. Right. However, if you wanted to get the successor of the product of numbers 9 and 10, we couldn't write suck 9 multiplied by 10. Right. Successor of the product of the numbers. Yeah, we would have to take a parentheses, yeah. Because that would get the successor of 9, which would then be multiplied by 10, so 100. We have to write suck and then parentheses 9 multiplied by 10 to get 91. Yeah. That makes sense. If a function takes 2 parameters, we can also call it as an... Wait. If a function takes 2 parameters, we can also call it as an infix function by surrounding it with backticks. For instance, the div function takes 2 integers and does integral division between them. Doing div 9210 results in a 9. But when we call it like that, there may be some confusion as to which number is doing the division and which one is being divided. So we call it as an infix by doing 9 divided by 10, and suddenly it's much clearer. Alright, so that's the infix. Coleman 122 says, also Facebook's new name is pretty dank. Wait. Facebook's new name? Does Facebook have a new name? Ooh. Really? Meta? Wait. Is the new name Meta? Really? You must be joking. Right. Wow. Are we... The metaverse? Wait. Is it the 1st of April today? Oh, it's the corporate name. Ah, the corporate name. It's not the actual They're not changing from facebook.com to meta.com. Yeah, because Facebook does a lot of things, not only Facebook. Like one could argue that, right, what's that? Alphabet, right? That's the name of Google. Google's company is called Alphabet. Even though there is a company called Google, but... Yeah, exactly. This is like Alphabet for Google, says Snowrunner. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's a name, I guess. They love taking names like that, right? Alphabet, Meta. Oh, such a dick move. Right. Ticks. I don't even know how to do ticks. Is this a tick? No. Or is it? Right. 92. Wait. Yeah, 92. Yeah, that's the tick.
Just breathe.
Div by 10. Nope. That's the wrong tick. I don't fucking know. I don't think this is super unclear anyway. Right. This would be way weirder doing it like this. Coleman says, yep, metagaming. Shake my head, yeah. Aron says it's the tilde key. Wait. Is it? Wait a minute. What's going on here? What is that? I feel like the... No, it's working fine. Yeah, my keyboard is not the same as your keyboard, right? Used. Yeah, my keyboard is not the same as yours. But it doesn't matter. I'll look into that later, I guess. It's somewhere here. I think it's this one, probably. No. That one? Oh, that's the one, right? Yeah, that's the one. No, wait. Yeah, here it is. Found it. There we go. Wait. Melanol says... Dedadol says... Daddy... Damn it, I can't read that. Daddy key? I don't know. Olga Tab says it's not the same as mine either, right? Yep. Different languages, different keyboards. I'm not so sure I agree with this. Like, if we're talking about syntax here, having... I mean, I guess why the symbols, right? Plus... And, like, yeah. When it's just a simple symbol like that, it makes sense to have an infix... What was it? An infix function? But syntax, I would kind of like to have... Right? To have it... some other way, but this will... Oh, right. Wait. I know... Wait, Python does it this way, I think. Nope, that doesn't work. What was that called again? That type of division? It doesn't matter. Well, here we go. Integral division. If they just had like a special case, But having the rest as prefix function calls would make me happy. I think I will do that. Oh man, are you having fun, Melanol? Ooga booga, maga booga? Text-to-speech streamer. That's me, definitely. Yeah. Not honest says it's not the same as mine either because I have a custom keyboard. You do indeed. Your keyboard is really cool. Damn it. It's difficult saying something like that without sounding sarcastic. I wasn't trying to be sarcastic, but just as I was saying it, I was like, that sounded sarcastic, didn't it? I'm not very good at sarcasm. Alright, lots of people who come from imperative languages tend to stick to the notion that parentheses should denote function application. For example, in C, you use parentheses to call a function like foo, bar, bass, right? Like we said, spaces are used for function application in Haskell. So functions in Haskell would be foo, bar 1, and bass 3. Yeah, exactly. Spaces are used. So if you see something like parentheses bar 3, it doesn't mean that bar is called with a bar and 3. Oh, right. Didn't. Two words next to each other. I only saw the second bar. Oh no, first bar 3 and then bar 3. Yeah. That doesn't mean that bar is called with bar 3 as parameters. Right. This bar doesn't have a parameter? What does that mean? What if I run... This won't do anything, right? Yeah, exactly. I would have to do something like that, yeah, to make it work. Oh, Colgate in on tab says it didn't sound sarcastic. Oh, nice. And then I just confused stuff, didn't I? Right. It means that we first call the function bar with 3 as the parameter. Yep, exactly. First call that one. And then we call bar again with that number. Exactly. In C, that would be something like this. Yeah. I gotta say, just from writing it out, remember we talked about the language with all the parentheses. I said I don't like all the parentheses. I can imagine that I will like this more. Yeah, I will like this structure more. Because like in C, in order of operations, there would be like a lot of parentheses. Let's say we wanted to call like 5 or 10 different like a lot of different functions. There's a lot of parentheses within parentheses going on. Yeah. Well, in here you could do it completely without parentheses. I would recommend using the parentheses to make it more readable, right? You could use the... In Haskell, you could use the parentheses to make it more readable. Just to show, right? This first and that order of operations, right? Lisp. Exactly. Lisp is the name of it, yeah. Not only says you're terrible with names, I know I am. Olgatino tab says min 3 and 5 is only a problem because GHCI tries to show it. Right, it's only a problem... Wait. Wait. Do you mean this works? It only breaks when we try to call it? Oh shit, I did it wrong. Yeah, there we go. Oh shit, did it wrong again. There we go. Wait. It's done, but it breaks when we try to call it, right? Yeah. But we could do this. Yeah. That's what you were talking about the other day, right? Colgate on tap, that you don't need to do, like, it's incomplete, right? When I just call A, it's just an incomplete thing. That's why it breaks, but when we add a number, the missing number, that's when it works. That's kind of lazy, right? Still, this doesn't help me call Getting on tap. You're getting ahead of yourself. I still don't get this. We're getting to it. Yeah. Isn't it past lunchtime? It is past lunchtime. Thank you, Snowrunner. Which is perfect because we just got to what's this called? A headline. Kinda. No, that's not the word. We're getting to our first function, and we can do that tomorrow. Yeah. Right. Oh, you see its type signature? We will get to it, called Getting on tap. Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. One thing at a time. Let's follow the tutorial. Yeah.